we have a good one here from the Wild Wild West that also kind of ties into the Wild Wild West.
The Wild Wild
You
West.
get it? West as
The
an East.
the
Jesse
Beast.
Pugliarvi
The Bison King?
was finally let free from Edmonton. I think this is and who they get? Who they get?
Patrick
over in
Pistola.
Edmonton? Patrick dual wielding Glocks. Patrick Pistola.
That's what it
Let's
looks
see.
like. Pistola. Pistola. It sounds cool like that.
Pistola, like when they say get the pistola and get in the truck, it's something like that, right? Old Yessi Pugliarvi. He's kind of been the wayward son of Edmonton for a while. They drafted him third overall,
Fourth, I think.
fourth overall. He's been a player who, from the draft on, I've been kind of rooting for, and I always liked and always thought was going to do good when he held out, when he went back and played Finland. Right, the whole thing, I genuinely like the guy, and I don't know why. He always ends up on my fantasy mode teams in NHL. I always get him, and he always develops into a decent big goal scorer. I think that if he's going to be good anywhere, it's going to be Carolina. He has a great coach, other young guys from his country. He's skilled. Like, if he gets a chance to play with a guy like Aho, that's going to be pretty good. A guy like Vinny Trocheck, that's pretty good, right? Trocheck don't play there anymore. Trocheck doesn't play there anymore. I know. I corrected myself before you could even correct me. Who is their second line center in Carolina?
Kotkaniemi.
Kakaniemi. That's. I was like thinking countryman, and I said Trocheck, and I right away knew that was wrong. Kakaniemi is also from Finland, correct? That's okay.
I have no idea.
We don't have to know.
I don't know.
You know what I mean, guys? We don't know everything. That's why we're relatable. How do you guys feel about Pugliarvi?
I'm glad he's set free. Hopefully he can finally live up to his draft position, but let the guy be happy, let him play hockey, and get him the hell out of Edmonton. Like Martian said, like, who the hell wants to be in Edmonton?
100% agree. And I will say that saw this trade coming from a mile away.
A mile?
This is exactly the type of deal that Carolina looks at. I mean, Max Pacioretty, Brent Burns, Yessi Pugliarvi, they're taking on good NHL talent that teams can't afford to retain for what they're currently getting for their production at a cheap cost.
Oh my god. You know what we just forgot to put on the draft boards?
What?
The Ghost Bear.
Nah,
yawn.
we can skip that one.
Yawn. Well, I thought that was funny. I thought you were gonna come up with something like something big that we badly missed, and then that was the biggest yawn city.
What do you mean? Carolina, third round pick.
I don't know. I don't look at him and think he's gonna I don't
Then
know.
tell us what you think about it, Kev. If you're
Yeah,
so
Kev,
passionate
give
about
us-
Shane Gostisbehere,
Be
tell us
passionate,
about it.
buddy. You don't.
Nah, it's okay. I was just saying.
No,
We were just talking about the players that Carolina gets, and I feel like he's one of them, the third round
And
pick.
Jake's looking at some
Is it-
stats on his computer, and some
Little-
ad keeps popping up.
Yeah, every time I go, it pops up. I typed in Shane Gostisbehere twice, and Hockey DB flashed ads up on my screen. And it was
Yeah,
like,
I
all
mean,
right,
he's
let's
an
go
undersized guy, but he got good offensive value from the blue line. He missed some time most of February, but he has 10 goals in the season. He can give a little razzle-dazzle from the blue line for Carolina. Not the greatest defender, but he's got some zip in that shot, so we'll see.
Fair.
It's a whole lot of nothing burger from me on that one, to be honest. That one doesn't tickle my fancy. However, Edmonton did make some more moves after making the cap space with Yessi Pugliarvi. They went out and made a big splash, acquiring Matthias Ekholm and a 6th-round pick from the Nashville Predators, while the Predators retained 4% of Matthias Ekholm's salary, which I'll get into in a bit, in exchange for the Edmonton Oilers' 2023 first-round pick, Tyson Barrie, Reed Schaefer, and a 4th-round pick. Now, the 4%, everybody kind of giggles at that because we always hear like 50 or 25 or a pretty high number. But Matthias Ekholm is signed for more than $6 million a year for the next 2 to 3 years past this. So that 4% adds up to a significant amount of money on the overall contract for the Edmonton Oilers. And for me, that's a huge upgrade, and that's exactly what they needed in Edmonton. They got a real defenseman outside of a Darnell Nurse, who, mind my words here, is kind of an overpayment. But Jake, what do you think about the Matthias Ekholm Tyson Barrie trade here?
So I agree with what you said. I think they're a better team coming out the other side. My issue here is chemistry. Tyson Barrie is very, very close friends with one, Connor McDavid.
He was allowed in the hot tub.
He was allowed in the hot tub. He is a big... He's boys with Connor. He was a big lifeblood of that team, an assistant captain. I don't know if this hurts them chemistry-wise, and a guy who's kind of one of the guys who galvanized the boys. And I don't know. It's like today when I had the fear that Matt Grzelcyk was traded in the deal for Bertuzzi, because I think Grizzy's big for the Bruins locker room. I think he's one of the guys who kind of brings the older guys and the younger guys together. You don't like to see those guys leave your team, and I think we could see Edmonton take a huge slide.
Here's my question to you guys. When you have a player like McDavid, star-stud and everything, do you think he has a say in some of these trades or no?
Not this one. No.
I think he's told about it ahead of time.
Yeah, he's just let know. I mean, Connor McDavid isn't the type of guy where he wants to be calling those type of shots. He's not that guy.
However,
I think he wants to know, but
if I think that if, like, for example, right, our boss came to us and he said, "Hey, Connor, look, I'm sorry, but we're getting rid of Kevin," and I threw a fit and I stomped my foot and had a temper tantrum, Kevin would be going nowhere. And I think that's exactly how it works in Edmonton. If Ken Holland went to McDavid and he said, "Hey, I'm sending Barrie in a first-round pick for Ekholm," and Connor looked at him and said, "The fuck you're not," Ken Holland would say, "You're right, I'm not. I'm going to go back to my office and get back on my phone."
It is tough, I know. I wonder if that conversation even happens. I really do. We don't know.
That conversation definitely happens.
I know. It's tough to think
You
it doesn't,
are
right?
damn sure.
You know Patrice Bergeron's involved in Boston, so it's tough to be like, I know. I know.
I wonder if that's why Grizz hasn't left yet.
I think Matt Grzelcyk's a good fit in Boston. I'm a big Matt Grzelcyk fan.
I think any of the
great.
moves of taking pieces off the quote core of the Bruins is going to happen this offseason.
Yeah,
not
it ain't
right
happening
now.
this year. Like you don't mess with the core when they're like playing as good as they are. I mean,
They're going to sell the farm right now,
Yeah.
and then as soon as their season's over, they're going to start throwing people everywhere for picks.
Yeah, they might get rid of some of them farm animals to get back some picks. That's for sure. There's no question about it. I mean, the Bruins, like, just always everything ties back in. Next year is going to be a much different season, so let's enjoy it while it lasts. Bukestad to Edmonton. How do you guys feel about that one? Another image. You guys got to get on this YouTube and just...
Dude, we've got images for all the trades, every single
trade.
one, I'm
and
telling
they're
you.
all so pretty.
Everyone but the Ghost Bear.
Oh, yeah, that nobody. I'm sorry. I forgot. He played for an organization like the Flyers and the Coyotes recently. My bad. Anywho, Nick Bukestad.
Wow.
Hell of a guy. Although, didn't Nick Bukestad get scratched in every single playoff game last year for the Minnesota Wild? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm
no clue.
pretty positive that that's accurate.
I'm pretty sure it's accurate.
I heard on another podcast this week, and for the life of me, I can't remember whose it was. Oh, no, you know what? It was Frank Saravalli in the Daily Face-Off. One of the days this week I listened to his show, and he went on a rant when Jason Gregor brought up Nick Bukestad, and he said, "Why the hell would you want Nick Bukestad on your team when the Wild didn't even think that he was enough of an asset to put him in any of their games in the first round?" He played no playoff games for the Wild last year. None.
The Wild are also kind of like a dumpster fire right now. Who knows what's going on there?
I'm just going to tap out of this one because I honestly
This one's
don't wanna
almost
give
a nothing
insight.
burger to me.
I don't know enough about any of these guys to give real insight. I don't know.
Nick Bukestad is an even worse Charlie Coyle. He's just a cheaper
I know
version.
him.
You know what I mean?
I know him, but I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about this for anybody. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers need glue guys. Look at that. He's a glue guy. They need more glue guys. They have way too many lube guys, not enough glue guys.
Speaking of glue guys,
Jesus.
another team who loves their glue guys and they all fit the same mold is the Colorado Avalanche.
I didn't mean that in a bad way. I meant like they have too many guys who are just like slippery players. They don't have enough guys who like stick and glue. I didn't mean that.
It's all
bad.
right,
I thought it was
buddy.
a
It's
good.
all right.
I thought it was a good reference. Lars Eller to me is number one. I can't.
To
believe
clarify, Lars Eller is the one who got traded to Colorado.
Colorado. Oh, did no one announce that? Sorry.
No,
Eller,
we started talking
Colorado.
about it, and then we jumped back to the little thing that
Yeah,
you said.
second round
and-
pick to go over to the Washington Caps. Lars Eller, I can't believe this guy's still playing. How old is he? I feel like
33.
33. I feel like I've watched him play for all 33 years of his life.
Yeah, and he always sucks to play against when it's the Bruins.
He does. He beats the Bruins. He's a honey badger bastard. He fits what Colorado needs. I think Lars Eller's great, and he's fast. He's fast.
He used to
and
play
gets
on
the
Montreal, I believe, too.
That's what my dad said.
You were
I
correct.
said no. Oh, I said no, and my dad's like, dude, he's the guy that Lucic wouldn't shake his hand. And I was like, no, that was Alexei Emlin. And he was like, no, it was Lars Eller.
It was both.
Both. Okay. Well, hey, we're both right. When you hear this, Dad, we were both right. So I'm not going to tell you until you hear it. And
Shout out Big Jim.
Oh, yeah. Big
Loyal
shout out.
follower.
Big
Good
shout
job,
out.
Jim. With
Big
that
shout
hockey
out.
knowledge, you might replace
he's
Jake
got-
in no time.
Yeah, he's got a lot of hockey knowledge, that's for sure.
He taught Jake everything.
He did send me a picture today of Hampus Lindholm and tell me that Bertuzzi had arrived at the rink. So I don't know how far we're gonna go. I
Hey,
was
Jim,
but
I'm just
he
going to
goes-
let you know that unless there's a massive gap between the teeth,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
not him.
not Tyler Bertuzzi.
He was like he looks good, and I was like yeah, well that's because that's Lindholm, but that was good. Who do we got next? Who got traded next?
Now, let us set the stage.
Oh,
It is time for a little NHL controversy
it is.
with the LA Kings trading Jonathan Quick, a 2023 first round pick, and a 2024 third round pick in exchange for Vladislav Gavrikov and Jonas Korpisalo of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, before we get into the trade, quickly after this trade happened, which happened I think at like 2 or 3 in the morning Eastern time, there was a lot of uproar coming out of Los Angeles that the players were absolutely pissed at the front
Absolutely
office.
angry.
Number one being Anze Kopitar. Or probably actually, let me switch that up. Jonathan Quick is obviously going to be number one, with Anze Kopitar being number two. And then after the trade leading into today, it was even leaking out that Jonathan Quick was so upset that he was not even going to be reporting to Columbus unless he wasn't traded again by Columbus before the deadline. That's how much he did not want to go there at the time.
Let me set the scene for you quick, Connor. Before you keep going, I want to set a scene for you. I want everyone to close your eyes and imagine what I'm saying. You're Jonathan Quick. You're a future Hall of Famer. You've won multiple Stanley Cups. You're a U.S. Olympian. You've played your whole career in beautiful Los Angeles as a star player, a wealthy man, and you get a phone call where you get blindsided that you have to go live in Columbus, Ohio to end your career. Who the hell is saying yes to that outside of Johnny Gaudreau? Nobody. There's nobody who's like, yeah, Columbus. Even LeBron left Ohio, and it was his hometown to get out to LA. What they did is downright disrespectful, and they went from an organization I like and respect to an organization I just don't.
Do you know what I would probably say? Do you know what I would probably say, Jacob?
You'd get on that plane and go to Columbus, Ohio? Oh.
It's a business.
Is that
Dylan
Dylan
Larkin,
Larkin
everyone.
crying? Dylan Larkin crying?
Sorry. He's one of my best friends, and
That's Larkin on Bertuzzi player still. I'm sick of hearing Larkin moan. But yeah, I feel bad for
Yeah, I was really like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, so was I. I was like, what the fuck is this kid playing right now?
Connor
But,
pulled up the wrong browser.
Yeah, shit. But
That's a rookie
Larkin-
mistake. Come on.
yeah, I know you're a vet. You're a kid.
It happened to the best of us.
So the LA Kings, you drop the ball on this, like to not tell a guy who, it's weird to say it, but like he's
A franchise icon.
Krejci to them. Like he's a like for Bruins fans, he's a Bergeron, he's a Krejci, he's an NHL icon. But hey, they got back Vladislav Garakov, a guy who the Bruins almost overpaid for, and Jonas Korpisalo, who is at this point in his career a better goalie than Jonathan Quick. It doesn't make him not a legend though.
Correct. And Gavrikov has since said that he will not negotiate a contract anymore during the season, and he's going to wait until after the season to see where he's at because he's that pissed off with how things have unfolded here. But anyway, as the chaos continues, there is a little irony of light at the end of the tunnel because Jonathan Quick had a quick cup of coffee in Columbus as they turn around and traded him to the Vegas Golden Knights as they retained 50% of his salary in that trade, and they received Michael Hutchinson and a 2025 7th-round pick. Now, shout out to the Columbus Blue Jackets organization and management for doing Jonathan Quick a solid service here in this trade and retaining him 50% and sending him to a playoff contender for an absolute shit return.
Yeah, it's terrible. You know what? I'm sorry that I brought up LeBron leaving you guys Ohio. I'm sorry. I know he left Cleveland and not Columbus, but I consider you guys just one blob on the map. Just kidding. Goudreau said it's a great city, and he seems so happy losing games there.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Quick was pretty happy there, too. Did you see the Columbus Twitter account tweeted the thank you tweet?
No, really?
Go look it up right now. Right now.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Kevin, while he's looking that up, what are your quick thoughts on
Jonathan Quick?
the Jonathan Quick saga from L.A. to Vegas? Well, through Columbus.
It's kind of weird because it gives you flashbacks to a little Marc-Andre Fleury situation in Vegas and how they did him dirty. L.A. did Quick dirty. And everyone's hoping it's going to be an L.A.-Vegas first-round showdown.
Our time with you was quick but memorable. That is fantastic. Our time with you was quick but memorable. That is a 5 stars. Nice job, Columbus. I'm sorry about LeBron.
Now, I can say that this is not the first time that the Kings did this with a goaltender.
Who else did
They did it with Martin Jones in the Milan Lucic trade. They wouldn't trade within their division that time as well. So they traded Jones to the Bruins, who then flipped him to the Sharks for the first-round pick and Sean Corrali.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Bruins
that
legend.
brings me up to the last trade that we've kind of have here on our sheet, and that is Nino Niederreiter to Winnipeg. Nino Niederreiter is a high-skilled utility player. He's kind of a nail gun, and I think he helps Winnipeg with what they need. Do we have a graphic for that or no?
We do, but
whoa, bro! I worked hard on that one.
Didn't get uploaded.
It's not in the cards here because I was
issue.
I was being a little rushed and
we had a technical issue. It's all
we
right.
were trying to hurry this along so we could get off of here before the Bruins game.
We
But we're
haven't
full of
successfully did
we're full of hot air here, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, Bruins
but the
game's
Nino
great. I'm
Niederreiter trade, he goes from Nashville to Winnipeg in exchange for a 2024 second-round pick, as either Jake or Kevin here just broke a dish or something in their office. Who knows?
I knocked a Yeti cup over to the ground.
That was
what I
not
did with my
me.
foot. But
jeez.
yeah, no, it's a good trade for Winnipeg. What did they trade to get him? I wasn't listening because the Yeti cup was hitting.
It's a 2024 second-round pick.
Yeah, it's the value for him. Good job.
He still has a year left on his deal, I believe.
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's one of the
And
more.
what's really funny is
value
Nashville
value.
just signed this cat this year.
Yeah, it wasn't working out. Nashville. Before we go here, Nashville is going to be kind of under a little bit of some changes, right? We have Poyle is going to be retiring, and it's going to be Barry Trotz taking over as president and GM. Is he going to be GM and president?
I don't know the specifics, but it wouldn't surprise me. I know that David Poyle is not staying on as an actual employee of the organization. He's going to be a consultant or an advisor role.
Which just means he wants to make sure if he ever wants to step back in and see this baby more forward, that he gets to. David Poile is a guy who didn't ever get that Stanley Cup win, but God, did he do great things for hockey. I mean, just to kind of reference what Jeff Marek talked about
And
this
quick
week.
timeout.
Yeah.
David Poile's the only general manager that this franchise has ever had.
Yeah.
He's been
Yeah.
their GM since they came into the league, to just kind of set the table here.
And it's like his dad was a GM for expansion teams. He followed in his footsteps, and when he got into Nashville, he took a city that had virtually no hockey. They had no hockey identity at all, to a place where you see some of the like major youth elite programs play out of and have tournaments and things like that. And that just shows how good of a job he's done. With his lasting impact on Nashville, it's became a hockey community. Like I don't imagine a trip to Nashville where I don't go see a game. They created Smashville. They created throwing the catfish on the ice. They just created an environment that became a hockey town. And I think he needs to get most of the credit for that, honestly. And
What
he built a
I'm-
competitive premier franchise.
What I'm super excited for is I am going to be down there in Nashville for this draft, which will be his swan song. That's his last event with the Predators. They got a couple first round picks. It's going to be exciting. Trotz is already working for the team. It's going to be a great event to be at, and I can't personally wait to see what Nashville has to offer. I've personally never been, so this will be
I have not either. I
quite
wanna
the
go
experience.
that's for sure.
I mean, if you weren't so selfish, you could probably meet me there.
Yeah, I'm getting married on that day.